Hello everyone. So I just thought I would quickly introduce myself. So my name is Tanya Danielle and I help people who emotionally eat, people who binge eat, people who have yo-yo dieted for years and years and years, and people with low body image, so poor body image, people who see themselves in the mirror and they don't like what they see, they want to change their body. You know, they're always self-loathing, they speak negatively to themselves, and they don't like who they are or how they look. And quite often what can happen is we end up wanting to change who we are. And we can do this by dieting, right? So we think that if we lose that last half a stone, or we lose that last stone, or whatever it is to us, we think that that will change our life. We think that that will be the thing that makes us worthy, it makes us valuable, it makes us, it makes us a superhuman being, and it makes all our problems go away, right? I mean, I don't know if you've ever felt like that, but I know I certainly have. And the only problem with this is we can then I started dieting when I was very, very young. But then what can happen is we can get very, very obsessive, and it can get to the point where you are checking labels, you are weighing yourself not only once a day, maybe twice a day, maybe even 3 times a day. You will not eat any food unless you've checked the label, you've checked the macros, you've tracked your macros, you've written them down, you know exactly, the content, the protein, the carbohydrates, the fats, and the sugars. You will not eat anything until you know all of these. And actually, that can get really, really, really obsessive. It can be very, very time consuming. It can take up massive amounts of your energy. It can be really, really overwhelming. It can get really exhausting. And then normally what tends to happen is we then forget to listen to our own body signs and signals. So we forget to listen to our own body. And what we do is we tend to follow somebody else's rules. So somebody else's rules in the external world. So maybe a diet rules, maybe a PT rules, maybe, whoever's rules we follow, maybe a magazine, whatever it is we tend to follow. And I'm not necessarily saying that this doesn't work for everybody, but what tends to happen is we tend to ignore our own signs and signals. So the signals that when our body says we are hungry, the signals that when our body says what foods we like, when we feel satiated, when we feel full, when we know how to stop eating. All these signs and signals are so, so important, and we lose them. We lose them when we start focusing on what somebody else says we should eat instead of the things that we actually want to eat and we enjoy. I really, really, really do believe that our body will always, always do its best for us. It will always want us to be in the best optimal state. It will always want us to be feeling good, feeling healthy, and feeling energized. And when we start tuning back into that, this is when we actually stop responding to food in a negative way, right? So quite often what can happen is we can then start, when we are not listening to these signs and signals, so we are not listening to our own body, we can then start actually reaching out for the foods that we are telling ourselves that we cannot have. So it could be cakes, crisps, biscuits, whatever it is for you, chocolate, it could be anything. And what we find is then what happens after we've eaten those foods is we feel terrible, right? We feel terrible. We tell ourselves we shouldn't be eating those foods, and we feel awful. We are full of guilt, we are full of shame, we are full of regret, and we start self-loathing. And this is where the problem arises. It's those negative feelings. It's those feelings that we are bad. It's those feelings that we feel shameful for eating some chocolate, or we feel regret, or we feel guilt, or we feel all these horrific emotions, all these really strong emotions, and then we beat ourselves up. So then what do? We then start the cycle again. So this is what I do. I wanted to just do a quick video just to say hi, just to kind of give you a little bit of a intro and a little bit of a breakdown on how I help people. So I really help people change this. I help them change how they feel about themselves, their body, and I help them change how they respond to food. So anyway, just a quick video just to say hi, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.